Okay. Hey, we're live here with Hangar 18. As always, your giant blue alien, death-dealing, stabby-faced killer, robot alien, Thundercracker. And with me, as always, is my super deep, Barry White, fucking baritone, panty dropper, Dreadwind.
Hello, children.
Yeah. So there you go. What the fuck's the name of that guy that plays Chef?
I'm trying to remember now.
Yeah, wasn't he also in that movie "I'ma Get You, Sucker"?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You know, you're supposed to be on the spot with that kind of shit. You're supposed to say, "Hey, what was this guy in this movie?" And you're supposed to be like, "It's this person." All right. So I just want to say one thing before we start our broadcast today, and it is this: Batman fans, you've got to calm down. You've just got to calm down. Calm the fuck down, Batman fans. Okay.
Hey,
I like Batman too. Batman's an okay character. But some of these Batman fans are just fucking over the fucking horizon. I mean, Batman, he's flesh and blood, right? I mean, even Jesus died. He didn't like fucking about to get nailed up to the cross and he fucking whipped out some anti-Roman spray. I mean, fuck. Calm down, Batman. You know what the thing I hate most about Batman is?
His voice?
No, the fans. The fucking fans are the thing I hate the most about Batman. Because you could say, well, Batman's trapped in a fucking inescapable box full of acid. They're like, nope, because he swallowed a pill that makes him immune to acid earlier, so you knew that was going to happen. Fucking claw. Okay, enough about Batman.
Or he pulls out some elaborate contraption off of his bat belt.
Right, that he just happened to have that day.
Yeah.
It's amazing how he just happens to have just the right fucking gear for the situation, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right, I got a Batman monkey.
I guess he was a Boy Scout in a previous life.
Yeah.
Hey, the chef was voiced by Isaac Hayes.
Isaac Hayes, that's the name of it. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's a pretty unforgettable name. I can't believe I forgot about it. All right, so anyway, I know we went way the fuck off topic already, but but the theme of this week's show is title tracks, and there was a story behind that. I was going to do heavy metal thus far in 2017, but turns out pretty much all the heavy metal thus far in 2017 sucks ass. I mean, I listened to like 20 different albums, and they're all awful. And there was like maybe one or two gems in there, like one or two okay, but definitely not enough to fucking come up with 10 songs. So I decided, we'll just do title track. What do you call it? Title track show.
Theme?
So, yes, title track theme show. Yes, that's what I was looking for. So we're going to go ahead and start off with heavy metal news. And Dreadwind, go ahead with your heavy metal news. I'll let you go this first this time. That way you can't claim that I took your story.
Okay. Were you going to do the Slayer one?
No.
Okay. I guess I'll do the Slayer one. Have you heard about that?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, well, here we go. Apparently, as a joke, there was a picture of Donald Trump throwing up the metal horns, and if I'm not mistaken, the original picture was him with Jesse James from West Coast Chopper fame.
Yep.
And I don't know, he's kind of sort of friendly with him, and I think that was the original picture, and they're both throwing up the metal horns. Well, somebody photoshopped it and put a picture of Slayer behind Donald Trump, and they're all like, ah, and he's throwing up the metal horns. And as a joke, Tom Araya posted it to his personal, not to Slayer's page or whatever, but to his personal page. He just thought it was funny, and a lot of people got butthurt over it. And he made apparently some comments, and people got even more butthurt over that. So it's kind of been a deal of butthurt.
Oh, yeah, you know what? And actually, you know what? Remember that story, because there's something I want to talk about kind of related to that. Like, not exactly related to that, but like kind of related to that a little bit later, because people just automatically assume things, and they often assume incorrectly, and Slayer is one of the bands they've done that to. So my piece of heavy metal news is that Iron Maiden, a little known heavy metal band you might have heard of, they are releasing an official Wasted Years performance from the Book of Souls tour. So it's going to be a video, and it's like from all across 6 different continents.
Cool.
Of Iron Maiden doing live stuff. And I don't know if you've ever seen Iron Maiden live, even on video, they are pretty good. Pretty good live band.
So it's just from different shows from around the world?
Yeah, different shows on their last tour, the Wasted Years tour.
Okay, so not like one whole concert, but just...
No. It's like clip.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So you
cool.
Or like their very fast wardrobe changes, whichever you like to think. Because they'd have different clothes.
I'm not into Iron Maiden wardrobe changes like you are, but you know.
I'm just saying, some of those clothes they have are awful purty. All right, so let's move on to our list here of songs that we are going to.
Do you think they ever got caught in airport security with a cucumber?
What?
Yeah, Spinal Tap. Remember?
Yeah, I know, but that's. I mean, like, I'm guessing
they used to wear the spandex and everything.
Right. But I'm guessing Dickinson probably doesn't get caught in airport security that much. You know, him being a pilot and all.
Well, he is now. He wasn't then.
He was always a pilot at heart. Goddamn it. I think actually he was. I think he always wanted to fly big planes like that. So yeah. But yeah, you're right. You just reset. All right, so we're moving on to our first band here. The band is called Havoc, and it's from their album Unnatural Selection. And just like every fucking song on here, this is the title track. Their 2013 release called also Unnatural Selection. Havoc is formed in Denver.
You know what you could have picked also?
What's that?
Well, never mind. Go ahead. I'll bring it up later. Go ahead.
All right.
Keep going.
A lot of teasers on this show, apparently. Yeah. All right. Havoc was formed in Denver, Colorado in 2004, and that makes them, I think, the best thing that's ever come out of Colorado. I can't think of anything better than Havoc. All right. The intro is heavy as fuck. The entire song is about the Holocaust. I mean, like Unnatural Selection, and they're talking about, trying to like stay alive for a couple more days and et cetera. So the whole song is about the Holocaust and the death camps, which is like a sad thing to like sing about. But, I mean, it happened. It's not like you can erase history. It's thrashy as fuck. Right about 2 minutes, they come in with this like double bass blast beat. It's like pretty intense. And they have a great solo in this song. My only one complaint about this song is that it's a little repetitive. I mean, they basically just sing the song twice. That's what they do. And then that's what the song is. They just go through it twice because, they only need half the time to do it one time. But anyway, I give it an 8.0 because it's really good. It's thrash. It's Havoc. Don't bring me down, Dreadwind, go.
Yeah, when the song first kicked on, I was like, Testament, is that you?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
It's got real old school Testament vibe. It's like the music throughout the whole song is very textbook thrash.
Right, exactly. Yep.
You open a book and look up thrash, and there's probably this song listed next to it. Really good solo. Dictionaries, yeah.
Symbiotic.
Right. So I'm with you too. I really like the riff change with the double bass and all about halfway through the song, which is really cool. I guess my biggest gripe is I'm not a huge fan of the singer. He's okay. He's not bad, but I think they could be so much better with a better singer than what they have now. But isn't he one of the guitar players? Doesn't he sing and play guitar?
Yeah, he does. Yes.
Yeah. I think they might be.
Hey, let me call you back. Okay, that was weird.
Okay.
That was my mother-in-law. As you can tell from the Come On Down music from Price is Right.
I thought you had some screeching wyvern coming in or something. That was weird.
No. Okay.
Anyway, 7.5 on that one.
7.5. That's pretty good. That's close. Yeah, I just want to say also too that Havoc is releasing their new album Conformicide on March 10th of this year, and you should probably get it because it's Havoc and they're fucking thrashy. It's thrashy thrash. Okay.
Thrash.
Yes. Our next band, one of Dreadwind's favorites, I know, because he fucking loves core, is
Jamie Josta.
Hatebreed, The Divinity of Purpose. And again, title track to their 2013 release. Hatebreed was formed in Connect iCut in 1994. It's got a great bass and vocal opening.
That probably makes them the best thing out of Connecticut, too.
That's probably true. I can't argue with that. It has a great bass and vocal opening. The main riff is really, really crunchy. I just wanted to say, somebody in the comment section said that Hatebreed sounds like Rage Against the Machine. I just laughed at that because they sound, what's the word I'm looking for? Nothing like Rage, zero like Rage Against the Machine. The vocals only part where he does where like all the music falls away and he just kind of does his own vocals. I'm a fan of that, and I'm a fan of Jamie Joss's vocals anyway because they always like that scratchy. I just smoked 19 cartons of cigarettes vocals that I love, that I know you love too. And just a couple of facts about Hatebreed is they sponsored an MMA fighter named Chris something that starts with a C that I can't read my fucking handwriting.
I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not a big MMA fan. And apparently this song, there's a guy named Pete Rubish, and he does like powerlifting videos on YouTube, and apparently he used this song as his backdrop. And remember before when I was saying, you know, you make assumptions about musicians and they were wrong? Here's where I'm going to come back to it. There was a CNN article online about how Hatebreed is a white power band. And it had to do, that came out right after the Wisconsin Sikh temple shooting. And Hatebreed went to Twitter and they're like, what the fuck? We're not white power band. What the fuck are you talking about? We never endorsed white power at all, or white supremacy at all. And CNN retracted the article. So that goes along with the whole fake news thing and what Dreadwin was saying earlier about people getting butthurt about Slayer. And here's the thing about Slayer too. A lot of people think that since some Slayer songs are about Nazi stuff like SS3 and stuff like that, and Angel of Death, that, you know, they were a white power band. But here's the gipper for you, kids. Tom Araya, he ain't white. He's Peruvian. So that'd be kind of weird.
There's a story I remember hearing too about Slayer where it's been a while now, but there was a priest who was wanting to write a book about satanic imagery and stuff in music and heavy metal music in particular. And of course, Slayer being, you know, they have a lot of the pentagram stuff and everything, and the Slatanic, you know, as they call them or whatever.
Right.
And so
I know where you're going.
He wanted to go on tour with them just to kind of get a behind the scenes look at this whole thing. So they were like, yeah, sure, come on. So he went on tour with them and, you know, just kind of observed them behind stage, before the show, after the show, during the show, A-Team, so on and so forth. And anyway, finally, when the book came out, he's like, yeah, they're not satanic. It's all for show. It's like theater. It's just, you know, they get on stage and they perform a show just like you would a stage production in theater or something like that, you know, so.
Right. Yeah. So the last thing I have down here about Hatebreed, since we've gone like from 18 to, that was just my phone ringing again. I should really turn the fucking volume off. Right? So I never get calls ever. And today it's just like, hey, we'll blow him up while he's on his show. Hatebreed has a former member named Nickel P, and the guy is doing 45 to life for murder. So I just thought that was a pretty interesting tidbit about Hatebreed.
Wow.
Anyway, I gave this particular song an 8.5. What do you think about The Divinity of Purpose?
Divinity of Purpose it has a cool bass guitar intro.
Yeah, right. That's what I said. Yeah.
Yep. And
can we do it? Can we do it?
Yeah, do it.
Doom 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 doom. When the odds were stacked against me. Okay, go ahead.
Awesome. It kicks in real heavy after that, and the guitars are just really sick, like in a good way, sick all the way through it. His vocals, especially early, like right at the beginning of the song, they actually remind me of. You're not gonna know who this is, but it was some friends of mine that were in a band called Fractured, and their singer kind of sounded like that too. So I thought that was kind of cool. I actually really liked this one. I was pretty much headbanging through it the whole time. I gave it 8.5 too.
Fucking A, we matched. Holy shit!
Yeah.
I'll make a metalcore head out of you eventually. Anyway, all right. The next song is by a band called Gore, and it's "America Must Be Destroyed." Again, the title track, their 1992 release. Gore comes from Richmond, Virginia. 1984. I'm not going to say they're the best thing out of Richmond, Virginia, because there was another great band out of Richmond, Virginia, which will remain nameless, but they're really good. You should know what I'm talking about. There's a great opening. It's got great sound clips throughout the entire song. It's like a Rob Zombie like song-esque with the sound clips. But the sounds are all like political, like really political. There's no lyrics to the song at all. It's just music and then sound clips. But they pull it off, I think. The whole song is about Dave Brockie got into a fight with police in Charlotte, North Carolina, about his giant rubber penis. That's what the song's about, apparently. So, the song to me, it sounds very punkish and very discordant in a punkish kind of way. You know what I mean? Like, punk doesn't like necessarily follow like the musical formats, kind of like that.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it. I give it 7.5. I mean, I love that whole album, America Must Be Destroyed. But the title track's good too. Plus, it's got fucking Gore on that album. What else do you ask for, right? What did you think about it? Yeah, me too. What did you think about it, Dreadwood?
This particular song, I'm not really a fan of because the samples are just, to me, the samples are a little distracting and repetitive. They're fine for like the first minute, and then after that, I want Odorous to come in at some point, and he doesn't. It does have a cool rhythm in the background, especially about a minute in. It changes up and it has a really cool rhythm and stuff going. But again, I just found the samples really distracting from the music itself. So I give it a 6. I didn't care for this one.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, that was wrong. Let's move on to something better. Brighter.
I like Gore on the other hand.
Brighter, yeah, Pussy Planet's a good one too.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on to brighter horizons here, we have Black Sabbath, a band formed in the United Kingdom in 1968. The song is called Paranoid from their 1970 release. And
you know what you could have done here?
What's that?
You could have done Black Sabbath off of Black Sabbath.
I could have done that. That would have been a triple threat, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But I know that you don't like the first album as much as you like the second too. So
plus, I think we've done that song already too.
Yeah, so. I think we have too. All right. So Geezer Butler told Mojo Magazine that the song is about depression, and he said that he couldn't really, for him, he couldn't really tell the difference between depression and paranoia at the time. So that's why he called it Paranoid. And he said he used to cut his own arms. That was the only way he could feel better about himself.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah, the album was originally entitled War Pigs, but they changed the name because they didn't want it, it to be that obvious that it was an anti-Vietnam War song.
Right.
First off, the riff is instantly recognizable. I mean, instantly, it's Paranoid. And if you don't, never put up the horns because you don't deserve to. It's like Iron Man. You have to know that riff.
Yes.
It's got the eerie Ozzy vocals, which I love. I love Ozzy's vocals, like on those albums. They're just amazing. And of course, it has the great bass, which is a hallmark of Black Sabbath. I mean, Geezer Butler's an amazing bassist, and I give it a 10 because it's fucking awesome. What do you think about Paranoid by Black Sabbath and Dreadwind?
Paranoid, like right, just what you said. I bet did.
Yeah,
stuttering over myself here. It's got an iconic guitar intro, like you said. If as soon as you hear it, you instantly know what it is. I think everybody knows what the song is once they hear it. This is one of the songs that even if you're not a heavy metal fan, you know what this song is.
You should, right? Yeah.
It's like the perfect length.
Yep.
Ozzy's vocals are Ozzy's vocals are perfect. Tony's guitar riffs are perfect. Geezer's bass lines are perfect. The solo's awesome. It's a 10.
Yeah, right on, brother. And here's the thing. You're saying about everybody knowing, like my mom will sometimes like walk around the house not paranoid, but she'll like sing the main riff to Iron Man. Just like out of the blue, she'll just be doing that, which, and my mom's like, Beatles fan. So
wasn't this like their first actual radio hit back in the day?
I think so. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's Paranoid. Have you ever heard like the Megadeth cover of it? It's like
I love the Megadeth cover.
Me too, and it seems like it's a little bit faster than the original.
It is. It is. It's a tad bit faster, and then of course, the versions I have at the end is where Nick keeps playing the drum part.
Nick, fuck me running. That one.
Yes.
Classic. I love that too. Hidden Treasures is a great album. You should go buy it right now if you're listening.
Yep.
All right. The next band is a band called Crowbar from New Orleans, Louisiana, formed in 1988. And this is they're from their album Odd Fellows Rest, 1998. It's the title track, just like every one of these. And yes, I'm going to explain that every goddamn time. Here's the thing about this song.
Just a side note, Odd Fellows Rest album is the first album that featured Sammy, who's formerly of Acid Bath and currently in Goat Whore.
Oh yeah, great.
On guitar with Crowbar.
That was like a grand tour of NOLA metal right there. Throwing down, and you got it all. Right?
Just about.
Right, so it's got a very eerie opening. The guitar is eerie. The vocals are eerie. It doesn't even sound like Kurt Winstein, because it doesn't have his like growl that he does. It's just like he's a lot cleaner than normal. To me, it's almost like Planet Caravan, the song.
That's exactly what I wrote.
Yeah, it's like the I don't think it's the official video, but the one in the playlist, which is in the description of this podcast. This chick did this. She went around New Orleans, I think, and like took a bunch of pictures of like graves and churches and shit. It's perfect for the song. So I think it should be the official video, right?
Yeah.
At one point, there's like this weird guitar distortion, which makes the guitar sound a little bit weird. And this song has one of the best outros I've ever heard, and it's a long song, right? But it's very mellow. It's it's definitely not thrash. It's like the polar opposite of thrash, but I'm a fan of it. I give it an 8.0. I just love it because you don't necessarily have to blast people's heads off for a song to be good. Like I like Spiral Architect. I like Planet Caravan. I like Fluff. Sometimes, they just need to show off their musical prowess in something other than a fucking drop tune guitar blasting away, So I like it 8.0. What do you think, Gridman?
Yeah, stuff like that's kind of like the little spices that you add in there to flavor it up a little bit. You don't want to eat you eat a hamburger and you want your hamburger to be flavored with some spices. You don't want just raw meat in there all the time. Well, I guess some people do, but are you with me?
Good analogy. Yeah, I'm with you. I know what you're saying.
All right. So I wrote the same thing like you just said. It's like a slower version of Planet Caravan. It's got the clean guitars, and I wrote the same thing too. Very eerie guitar and vocal sounding. It's kind of a trippy song.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's long, and this is one of those songs where I have to be in the mood to listen to it. So depending on my mood, it could vary anywhere from like a 6.5 rating to like a 9.
Right. Yep.
Depending on what mood I'm in, because sometimes I'm in the mood to just sit and chill and listen to something like this, and I'd love it. And then other times I'm in the mood for something a little heavier, and I'll just skip it. So
yeah, if I was on the arc trainer at the gym and this came up, I'd probably skip it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I give it I guess a 7 overall.
All right.
But again, that could vary depending on my mood. So.
All right. Okay.
Ask me tomorrow. It could be an 8.5.
All right. Our next band is Gojira, and the song is Magma, off of Magma, released in 2016. And Gojira is a French metal band formed in 1996. It's got a very bouncy opening. It's got almost like a 1960s horror movie feel to the song, I thought. It's very, very melodic overall. There's a weird, a really, really weird vocal effect that he's got over his vocals, where it sounds like he's got 4 personalities, all with different vocals, and they're all singing at the same time, kind of what it sounds like to me. There comes a time when they do like the breakdown, and the riff that they rip off on that breakdown is fucking outstanding. I think it's at like 3 minutes or 3.5 minutes, but when they change that tempo and that new riff, it's just fucking, it's stellar. I can't even, it's just badass. This was also voted the Metal Hammer Album of the Year in 2016, this album here. And I can see why. I mean, I'm not a huge Gojira fan, which, yes, they were formerly Godzilla, too. But this is an amazing song. I really like it. I give it an 8.5. You're going to fucking bring me down, aren't you? I can already tell. I can fucking tell just by that huh. You're going to fucking unleash an avalanche of shit on her, aren't you?
Yeah. What the fuck, man? First of all, yeah, Gojira is the original Japanese name for Godzilla.
Right.
If anyone's not aware of that by now, which if you're not aware of that, get out of the rock that you've been living under.
Yeah, right on.
Okay, so it has a nice intro. I like the intro. Sounds promising. And then that distorted guitar solo thing kicks in, and I thought that was pretty interesting. But then it didn't stop. It just kept going over the guy trying to sing. And it got it totally distracted from the vocals. The vocals themselves sounded really, really dreary. I mean, I thought I was a dour type of person, but Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, from what I understand, they wrote this song right after one of the members' moms died.
Well, I guess that would explain it. It sounds like he popped about 12 volumes before he went in the vocal booth on this one. I love the change-up. About 3.5 minutes in, that change-up you were talking about.
Yep.
Killer riff. And I was like, all right, thank you. Finally, this song is getting better. And it lasts for about 30 seconds, and then they go right back to the same crap that they were doing before. It's just, and then that solo, I guess it was supposed to be a solo. He just kept playing the same little thing over and over and over and over again for like 2 minutes after that.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing he'd been playing the whole song before that. Way too repetitive, way too long. Did not like this song at all. 4.5.
Damn! I think that might be the biggest we've ever varied on a song.
Yeah.
All right.
Did not like that one.
I can't even begin to express how wrong that was. All right. The next band, let's move on to something better here. The next band is Mastodon, and they're from ATL Guy. Yeah, they're formed in 2000. The song is called "Once More Around the Sun." From this, that's the title track from the 2014 album. The song actually debuted at number 6 on the Billboard Top 200, which is pretty shocking to me for a metal song, especially for a metal song from a pretty unknown band.
Wow.
Yeah. It has a signature drum style for Mastodon. Their drums aren't like formulaic at all. They just kind of like are all over the place. And he's just kind of showing off his drums. And I know a drummer guy, Heavy Metal Rob. He was on one of our podcasts, and like he's a big fan of the Mastodon drumming, and I can see why. Because like the guy is really, really technical, which sometimes he lets his technicality get in the way of the song. I think a little bit. It has great album artwork. It's definitely progressive metal. Like it's not Slayer, and it's not Metallica, and it's not Anthrax. It's progressive metal. So it's not the formula of metal that you're used to. It has a very fatalistic lyrics to it. But to me, the one problem I have with the song is there's no real contrast in the song. Like on Sad But True, where they do the stop and then they start talking about hate, I'm your hate. When they do that kind of thing, that contrast in the song. To me, that makes a song better when you got you can pick out various parts. But this is just like one whole thing of the same thing.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to distinguish like the verse from the chorus and
right,
like
and
that,
but it had great guitar effects. I thought so. I give it a 7.0.
Okay.
Go ahead, Drew.
The very first thing I thought. Now I'm not a huge fan of Mastodon, so I've never heard the song before. The only real Mastodon that I'm familiar with is like some of their stuff off the Leviathan album.
You should listen to The Hunter. It's a great album.
So, okay, I'll look that one up. This one, the first thing I thought of when he started singing and as the music was playing about halfway through the song, I was like, this sounds like Beatles metal. Like if the Beatles were a metal
Yeah, I can
band,
kind of see that. Yeah, I
this
kind of
is
see
what
that.
I would expect them to sound like. There's a lot going on all at once. Like you were saying, it's kind of hard to distinguish certain parts from another because there's so much stuff going on all at once.
Right.
You know,
A
it's
lot of
like
music
a
crammed in
sonic,
there. Yeah.
yeah, like a sonic overload almost. You know, the drumming was pretty good. And I saw in the comments somebody I have no idea who this person is, but someone said this is the best Bob Mould song that Bob Mould didn't do. So I looked him up and kind of, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I don't know who
He's
that
kind
is
of,
either.
I don't know who it is either, but he's an older dude, uh, like bald with like a gray beard and stuff. But his music kind of sounds like college rock stuff. I don't know.
An old, bald,
Um,
gray beard guy. That narrows it down really good.
yeah. Well, like if you see a picture of him, you wouldn't expect his music to sound like what it does. You know,
Gotcha.
that type of thing. So, but yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I was only familiar with Leviathan, so I was expecting to hear something like that, and I got a metal version of the Beatles. So, it wasn't horrible, but I give it a 6.5.
Oh, we're close. All right. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Moving on. This ought to spice it up a little bit. Spice your burgers.
yeah.
Symbiotic. All right.
This is some seasonal.
Right. Amon Amarth, Twilight of the Thunder God, title track, released 2008. Amon Amarth from Sweden, 1992. I was clean shaven when I fucking put this song on this morning, and now I got like a 3-inch beard. I swear to God,
No
I'm
doubt.
already getting my long ship and ready to France. It's crazy. It's got an amazing opening. Just amazing. The main riff is fucking awesome and excellent. The vocals are badass and fucking amazing. And speaking of vocals, Johan Hegg, the lead singer, I see him all the time in memes that have nothing to do with metal or anything. They just use him as like the standard Viking because he just looks like one. The song is about Thor going up and fighting Jormungandr in Ragnarok, and basically I really like it because it's like it's a microcosm for the overall Viking view of fatality. Or fatalism, because they know they're gonna die, and they're like, well, there's nothing you can do about it. That's your fate. If that's your fate to die, then fuck it, you just have to go die. Same thing. Thor knew he was gonna die when he went to fight Jormungandr, and just the way it happens, right? It's got a great slowdown part to it, and it's also got a great. Let me rephrase that. It's got a badass solo to it. I love the video. I love everything about this song. I give it a 10. I'm a fan of this.
Wow. Yeah, my first note, as soon as the song kicked off, like maybe 3 or 4 seconds into the song, I started writing, here we go, Viking metal.
Yeah.
Brutal intro. Guitars are awesome. The drums are like fucking nonstop through the song. I mean, he's just tearing it up.
Killing it. How's it go?
Yeah.
We should really sample our musical pantomime and put that together as a song one time.
I'm sure somebody could do that. Do you see that? Do you see that? Speaking of South Park, do you see that South Park episode where I think it was Stan's dad was like, "Oh yeah, I'm Lord," or whatever.
Yep.
Name is. Yeah, and he's like, he does shit in the bathroom and pieces it together to make a Lord song.
Yep. You know what? I also heard that Lord actually listened to that and thought it was fucking amazing.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, that's what she said. She said she would go around and going, "I am Lord, I am Lord." Which is weird when Lord's doing it, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, I know, right? I really don't even know who she is or any of her music, but the fact that she does that's pretty cool. So anyway, the change up was just kicks ass, and the solo is awesome. This is what you expect Vikings to look like and sound like. I give it a 9.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Now we move on to something that Redwin actually does like. Iced Earth. Burnt Offerings from their 1995 album Burnt Offerings. Iced Earth formed in Tampa, Florida, 1985. And I guess I learned this. They were originally going to be called Purgatory.
Yep.
Which I think that'd been a cool ass name, better than Iced Earth. I think Iced Earth's okay, but Purgatory was already better.
It was already taken, so they had to
Oh,
change
is that
it.
what it was? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, now get ready to be surprised because here are my notes for it. You ready? Fucking amazing opening. Amazing opening. The riff was thrashy as fuck. I think this song would kick ass for like an updated version of a Castlevania game.
Yeah.
There's a great change up in the song. The guitar work is guttural as fucking hell. The song sounds very vampiric. Reminds me a little bit of Dark Tranquillity. My one tiny complaint about the song, which I think is a great song, is that it's a little too long. That's my only complaint. I give it a 9. That's for Iced Earth coming from me. That's pretty high praise.
Wow. You surprised me.
That's what I said. You ready for surprise? Fuck.
Yeah. This is, if I'm not mistaken, I'm a little fuzzy on my music history here this morning, but I believe this is Iced Earth's third studio album and is the first album to feature Matt Barlow as a lead singer. They actually had Iced Earth. Talk about lineup changes. Iced Earth went through 3 different singers on their first 3 albums.
Wow.
Yeah. Each of their first 3 albums has a different singer. So this was the first one with Matt Barlow, and he stuck the longest.
It is their third, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. So this is it's not his. Some of the later Barlow albums, he does a little more of that operatic, as you call it, vocals that you don't care for, the higher and stuff. Yeah. This particular album, most of this album, he sings a lot more like this, where it's a lot more lower and a little more guttural. I think you would really like. I think you'd really like this album. There's a song off of here called Dante's Inferno, which is obviously about Dante's Inferno. It's a really long song. I want to say it's like 10 to 15 minutes, somewhere around there. But it's like this huge, epic, really cool piece.
16 minutes.
There you go, 16. But it's a really good album, really solid album. As for this particular song, the intro guitars, when it first kicks in, first of all, the intro music kind of has that horror music intro, like you were, and then the guitars kick in, and the guitars at first kind of remind me of like old Megadeth.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
It's got a fast rhythm to it. Lots of changes. There are lots and lots of changes throughout this whole song. They probably don't go more than like a minute before they change to something else.
Right. Yeah.
With the rhythm. Right. There's a clean part about halfway through before it kicks back into the horror intro, and then the guitars kick back in. With all the change-ups musically, you mentioned Dark Tranquillity. It kind of reminded me musically, of like some Cradle of Filth.
Yeah, kind
of. They kind of do that stuff with especially with the horror music thing going on with it.
Cradle of Filth minus the synthesizers, maybe.
They did some that have kind of like what they do with the horror music with the, I don't know what you call it, just some sort of keyboard thing. But anyway, I give this one an 8. I liked it.
Well, I rated an Iced Earth song
higher than me. I know, right?
Crazy. Fucking like what is white is black and fucking day is night, up is down, next. Jesus Christ.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
I know. I want to walk outside and there'll be a fucking version of me with a goatee. Swear to God. Crazy. All right.
If you meet a short-haired chick that tells you to choose, don't think of the Stay Puft Marshmallow.
Right. All right. Our last song is by a band called Terror, formed in LA in 2000. The song's called One with the Underdogs. And don't blink, because it's 1 minute and 30 seconds long. It comes from their 2004 album of the same name. Very, very, very punk-like song. It's metal, but you can definitely tell it's punk roots. They got the strained vocals that I really love. He does that throughout the entire thing. It's nice and short, and it's got a great tempo change to it. And I love Terror because like all their songs are like super short, It super hits you in the face and super thrashy and punky. And I give it an 8. So go ahead, Dreadwind.
Very short. It is kind of like punk thrash.
Yeah,
I
punk
guess.
thrash, right? Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. And this song is like a perfect definition of that, because like the first half is punk and the second half is thrash.
Right. Yep.
Because it totally changes. Like at 45 seconds, it changes,
Yep.
and then the first half was pretty much punk, and then the second half is pretty much thrash. My only complaint was I thought it was too short, because I really liked the second half of it. I wanted a little bit more of that. First half of the song I was kind of but the second half is like A+, awesome. Overall I give it a 7.5.
All right. So look at that.
Just blasting your face. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking great. All right. And
I never heard of these guys before.
Well, you never heard of Terror?
No, I hadn't. This was
God
new
damn.
for me.
All right. Well, anyway, they weren't great for working out. Terror really does. So, all right. So that does it for our list of shit. And we're gonna go ahead and, instead of doing concert stories this week, we're gonna do a little something different.
Hey, did you ever take a 30-minute workout and play it back at high speed? Only take you 15 minutes.
No. That's a good idea, though. All right, so
that's another Ghostbusters reference.
Right. All right.
Okay,
You're going like way too far with this Ghostbusters reference.
I know.
E-Master. All right, so we're gonna talk about. Somebody asked me on my Thundercracker page. They asked for some suggestions about heavy metal, and like I gave him some suggestions. Some other metalheads that are on my page gave him some suggestions, and he came back with, he's like, well, I didn't like anything on those suggestions except the Slayer. He's like, let me ask you, what's the motivation for listening to X music when they got like the screaming vocals and whatnot? Because when I want to get into this mood, I listen to the Gorillaz with a Z. Then when I want to get into this mood, I listen to a Lady Gaga. And I just feel like that has to be addressed, right? Here's the thing about heavy metal for me. There's 3 kinds of metal in my book. Or 3 kinds of music in my book. There's music that I don't like, but I respect their musicality. And for instance, that's like Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're an amazing band. They're really good. They're really tight. They know how to play their instruments really well. They have great songs. I just don't like their music. It's just not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's crap that I hate, right? And that's like typically when there's no musicianship, where you got like just, a lot of it is like the pop music, where you got like it's basically a dance video with somebody barely singing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they do that a lot in country now too, where the country it's just this really super glossy, super overproduced, and it has no heart to it. Okay, and then the third category is fucking heavy metal. Okay, and heavy metal for me, it's like I don't know, it strikes a chord in me, right? Like when I listen, I can hear certain riffs, and like a chill will just go down my spine as soon as I fucking hear that riff, right? Mm-hmm. And it's not just me that feels that way, because like you go to a heavy metal concert, you turn around and look behind you, and there's fucking 20,000 people who are doing the same thing you're doing. The Black T-shirt army is right there with you. It's like, and to me, heavy metal, you don't have to be in a certain mood to listen to heavy metal. You don't have to be in a certain situation to listen to heavy metal. Heavy metal just is, right? It's take it or leave it. They don't give a fuck if you like it or if you don't like it, right? Like, do you really think Pantera, when they wrote Vulgar Display of Power, of course they wanted it to be, successful, but do you think they care if like, X reviewer thought that it was, too much? They don't give a fuck. It's metal. They wanted to express themselves, and that's what heavy metal is all about. It's all about, being heavy metal, right? Being non-conformist, being yourself. So that's to me, heavy metal is like the ultimate libertarian music, because it's all about not conforming to the system, giving a big fuck you to the system. And to me, that's why it's never really commercially popular, other than a scant few songs, like a couple Metallica songs, a couple Megadeth songs. But I don't know. I'm going off like a way off. And people call me, sometimes I've been called a heavy metal purist, right? They're like, well, you don't like this weird, bizarre heavy metal twist because you're a heavy metal purist. I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I am a heavy metal purist. And I hope there's a lot more like me, because if there were maybe some pop music purists, maybe we would have more music like Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder, where people actually had like some talent and put some thought into their music, other than this bullshit we have today. And if there were some more country music purists, maybe we'd have more, Johnny Cash and Charlie Daniels and Hank Williams Sr. Other than this bullshit we have today, where it's like all a bunch of like super, fucking glossy, soulless shit. So yeah, maybe I am a heavy metal purist, but I'm not gonna make any apologies for it.
Right there with you, man.
So that's the way I feel about heavy metal. I mean, to me, it's just a way of life. I wake up in the morning starting to listen to heavy metal, and I listen to probably 100 songs a day, easily. Heavy metal. Like when I'm doing shit, I'm always have heavy metal going on in the background. So there you go. That was maybe like long-winded, but that's what I feel about. Go ahead.
Yeah, I get different moods like everybody does, and sometimes when you're in a different mood, you want to listen to certain things, and I'll sit down and listen to stuff that's not metal every now and then, and I'm just in the mood for something quirky or wacky or silly or whatever the case may be every once in a while. But I always come back to metal, because to me metal is it's who you are, that's what metal represents. Metal to me, bands that are doing this, they're not doing it to impress somebody or to try to make a certain hit or anything like that. It's just, this is who we are. This is what we do. You either like it or you don't. We don't care one way or the other.
Right.
If you like it, come on and party with us. If you don't like it, there's the door.
Right.
That's metal. And there's tons of different types of metal out there. There's a little something for everybody. Not everybody's going to like every type of metal, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that either.
I don't even mind when people don't like metal at all. I mean, that's fine. You don't like metal, great for you.
Yeah, exactly. And some people get butthurt about all these subgenres of metal. Some of them do get a little ridiculous at times, but at the same time, there's a need for it because like you said, when somebody's asking you, well, look, I like this band, I want to hear more bands that sound like this.
Right.
Okay, well, then you want to check out this type of metal music. You can't you can't say, if you like Slayer, then that same person might not like Ghost.
Right.
So you have to have some sort of classification in there. But yeah, it's just it is. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can say it is what it is, right? And I was going to say here too, I think Rob Flynn summed it up perfectly, right? I mean, one of their like live albums on video, they have a picture, like a video of them, and Rob's giving them a pep talk right before they go out on stage, right? And this is what he says, and I think this is fucking great. He's like, this is not about you. This is not about me. It's not about our gear. It's not about our fucking roadies. It's not about the money we're going to make, and it's not about the fucking cameras out there. It's about those kids out there that came to hear something, right? And I think that pretty much sums up what a great heavy metal frontman and or band, that's their attitude. They're doing it for their fans.
Absolutely. And the really good musicians, the really good bands will go out there and give everything they've got and put on the biggest show that they can, whether they're playing in front of 10 people or 10,000.
Right. And
you get the same show no matter how many people's in the audience.
Right. And you know what? And I've never once seen a Lady Gaga video where there's a Lady Gaga fan there with no fucking shirt on and big fucking blood streaming down their head going, Lady Gaga, Lady Gaga. But I have seen that several times for Slayer.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, metal fans are very loyal, and which is great because not every music genre can survive ups and downs of what becomes popular. Whatever's popular on the radio, that always, what's popular today is going to be gone 2-3 years from now.
Definitely.
How many disco bands are out there right now?
Right.
Disco fans weren't very loyal apparently.
Right.
So metal fans are very loyal. Metal's still kicking, still around, and still out there, and still thriving.
Just as a microcosm of that, pick any pop song that's really big right now, and I guarantee you in a month you'll never hear it again on the radio, or it'll be very, very rare. But I guarantee you within the course of a day, you turn on any rock station in the United States, you're going to hear Enter Sandman at some point in there.
Oh yeah, or anything off that album, yeah.
So, all right,
absolutely.
Well, I think that about
and
go ahead.
I was just going to touch on different types of metal too. I've kind of looked at it this way, where if you really break down metal to its core, like where it originally came from, and I think this is why it appeals to so many different people. You can break pretty much every heavy metal song broken down to its original seed, if you will, of 3 different genres: blues based, jazz based, and classical based.
Yep.
At least one of those, sometimes a combination of those. But if you break it down, every metal song is derived in some fashion from one of those, and that covers a lot, from blues, jazz, and classical. And there's a lot of good musicianship in that, and that translates over to heavy metal, where you have a lot of excellent musicianship in the bands. They take pride in the songs that they write, that they're writing themselves,
and playing the instruments themselves,
performing themselves, and they take pride in performing the instruments, the songs live. And I know we weren't doing Conscience Stories, but this is a great example. When I saw Anthrax just a couple months ago, about halfway through their set, they were playing a song, and the sound system went out. Boom, just everything, all the speakers went out. They're like, oh shit, what the fuck, you know? So it took a minute. They had to get the power amps back on, so it took them a minute, and they waited. And then finally, you know, I mean, mics went out, guitars went out, everything. So they finally got the power back up going. It's like, all right. So then Scott walks up to the microphone and goes, hey guys, you want to see a tight band? Check it out. We're going to kick off right from the beginning of the chorus where we left off. So they counted it down, 1, 2, 3, 4, and bam, kicked in like they didn't miss a beat.
Oh, what? See, that's impressive right there.
Fucking awesome. It was awesome. Just kicked in right where they left off. Amazing.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, well, yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that both Redwood and I have some pretty strong feelings about heavy metal. I mean, it's affected me personally in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
But anyway, that's about it for this week. And hey, at one point we had 2 viewers, and then there was one guy coming back and forth, and I don't know if that little number down there is wrong or right, because now it says we got 1 viewer again. So I mean, maybe that number is just wrong sometimes, because somebody would have to be like, I don't know, schizophrenic to click on and off that often. You know? So maybe they are. Fuck, who knows? Maybe it's the fucking Joker down there. You never know.
Maybe their parent keeps walking in the room and they have to close the window or something.
These guys keep cursing. All right, so
Johnny, what are you listening to in there?
Yeah, that about wraps it up for this edition of Hangar 18. And if you happen to be in Kokomo, Indiana, tomorrow between noon and 7, I will be there as Cobra Trooper at Kokomo Collecticon. So you can catch me there. And you can catch Dreadwind anywhere where panties are being dropped. And yeah, so there's that. And yeah, I just want to say, hey, stay metal, Dreadwind.
Stay loud and stay metal.
All right, we're out.